Hello, Richard Needles. I'm here today with another one of my lessons learned from my corporate life and executive coaching business. I'm sitting down for this one because, quite frankly, it saps my energy as I reflect about this story. It's something that I'm not necessarily proud of, but it is a story from my past I think is important for you to hear. I was about 5 years out of college, working in the Human Resources Department at Battelle Research Laboratories, and I was one of those pretty smart, up-and-coming HR people, and I convinced myself that I could run the Human Resources Department better than anyone else, certainly better than the people who were running it back in the day. And I developed a friendship with another young human resources advisor. I'll call him Joe. Not necessarily his name, but I'll protect the name. So Joe and I convinced each other that we could run the department better than anyone else. We developed a habit of going out to lunch 2 or 3 times a week, sitting around and complaining about how things were being run and how we could do it so much better. So this behavior went on for several months. And one day I got a call from my boss. His name was Les. That is his actual name. Les was a U.S. Navy World War II veteran and one of those guys that was direct, strong, and told you what you needed to hear. Les said, "Richard, come to my office." So I went to Les's office, sat across the desk, and Les said, "I'm hearing some things about you and Joe that I don't like. You and Joe have become partners in Gripe." Les leaned across his desk and he said, "Stop it." Those are pretty strong words. I kind of put my tail between my legs, knew I wasn't going to argue with Les, went back to my office, got a knock on the door from one of the people that I admired, also in the Human Resource Department. His name was Gary. He was a peer to Les. Gary said, "I think you probably got some tough news just now." Gary said, "You got a choice to make. You're really smart, you work hard, but your attitude is a problem. I hope you go home tonight and think about it." Well, I went home that night. I thought about, I really liked the job. I knew those 2 guys cared about me, and I should probably listen to what they were telling me. So I stopped going out to lunch with Joe. I decided that I was going to get back to hopefully what was my usual good behavior of being direct, friendly, working hard, getting things done in a good way. And I switched back to that pattern that had served me well early in my life. And 2 years later, an opportunity came up to be the human resources manager reporting to the CEO of Battelle's very first commercial venture. I got that job. To this day, I believe that job launched the rest of my career. It would not have happened if Les had not called me into his office and said, "You're a partner in Gripe, stop it." So my lesson learned for people who may be developing some habits like me, complaining, being bitter, being a partner in Gripe, stop it. For leaders who have people reporting to them who are exhibiting those behaviors, you will do them the biggest favor of their career if you call them into your office, lean in, and say, "Stop it." It's okay to be direct. It will serve you and that person very well. Thank you for listening. This has been a tough one for me. I needed to tell the story.